Hey everyone, it's Greg again. Unbreakable Spirits, another new episode. I haven't done one of these in a while, so there's just been so much going on that I want to tell you about. And but it's good to be back again. Um, Today's theme is smile, all about smiles. We're going to talk about smiles, and it's going to be, I think, a very positive, upbeat episode this time. I have a lot to smile about every day of my life. I have a lot to smile about. I mean, here I am. They tell me I'm the oldest guy around with this severity of osteogenesis imperfecta brittle bones. That alone makes me smile because I'm still kicking. I'm still going strong. And I'm here. I'm here. Whereas, the doctor said I was only supposed to live until I was maybe 25 at the most. So I've more than doubled my lifespan. So why not smile, right? I mean, I'm alive and I'm doing good, right? And tell me, what have you smiled about today? Think about it. Think about it. Maybe it's just sitting outside, sipping your coffee, enjoying the beautiful spring weather, hearing the birds sing, just life itself, right? Taking a deep breath, closing your eyes, and just being in the now, just enjoying life. Maybe that makes you smile. Maybe going to a baseball game or a concert. Summer's coming up and there's a lot of outdoor activities on tap. Uh, and now that the pandemic is mostly behind us, most of the time we can take off our masks now when it's appropriate and we can show our smiles. We can smile. Yeah, that's one thing I missed during the pandemic when I was able to go out and not be sheltered in place. I missed smiles because everywhere you went, hopefully you saw people wearing their masks, rightfully so. But where were the smiles, right? And now that we no longer need to wear masks in most situations, smile, right? That's You gotta smile. Um, think of all the songs about smile. Uh, when Irish eyes are smiling, da, 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 smile, da, 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 da. What's that? Jerry Lewis's theme song? I think so. During his MDA telethons. Uh, that was written by Charlie Chaplin. And so many great songs about smile. I'll tell you some. There's a statistic I found about smiles. Smiles. Uh, it does. It's really true. It takes more muscles to frown than to smile. 47 muscles to frown, only 13 to smile. So you're conserving on energy, your own personal energy, by smiling more and frowning less. And what I do, like, I mean, I have these dimples here. I've had them since I was a kid. And so I have good reason to smile, to show off, to flash those dimples. Um, and dimples, do you know 20 to 30% of the world's population has dimples? So 2 or 3 out of 10 people, that's not very many, but you know, I think a lot of people wish they had dimples. So when you got them, you flash it, right? And here's some famous people who do have dimples. Maybe you could think of someone you own. Kirsten Dunst, Jennifer Gardner. I love Jennifer Gardner. I would love to meet Jennifer Gardner someday. Jennifer Gardner, if you're out there, hit me up on Twitter or whatever. She just seems like a nice person, nice down to earth person. But she's beautiful. But she's this girl next door kind of thing going on. She just seems like a nice person too. But Jennifer Gardner has dimples. Cameron Diaz, there's something about Mary. She has dimples. She's a cutie too. And Harry Styles, the pop guy, that in One Direction, he has dimples. I think that, you know what? I think the word most associated with dimple the word I've gotten over the years is cute. Cute. Hey, you've got cute dimples. Dimples have gotten me more, uh, how should I say, comments or uh, over the years than anything else. You know, oh, I love your dimple with those cute dimples. Uh, uh, I remember a long time ago, this is back in the 80s. I met Susan Richardson. She was the redhead on Eight is Enough. Do you remember her? Long red hair, very cute. Well, she appeared locally, and I just happened to be there, and I got to meet her, and she wrote a little autograph on it. She was giving away these little cards of her and Adam Rich, who played the little kid Nicholas on Eight is Enough. They were in the picture together. Anyway, she was giving these out, and she signed the back, and she asked my name, and she signed back to Greg with the cute dimpled Susan Richardson. So that just made my life right there. That was great. So dimples have gotten me, I think they've been very advantageous in my life. I have this picture of this kind of weird. I don't want to think about it. There's a portrait of myself, a painting of myself hanging in my bedroom, and it's not because I'm an egotistical jerk. I have a picture because my parents, the day I had my name on first communion, I was 8 years old, and that day I went to get photographs because I was all dressed up. I was wearing a white suit. I looked like a combination of a good humor man and John Travolta. White suit, light blue tie. I looked pretty good. And my parents had pictures taken, not only to celebrate the special day, but because they really, really thought that I wasn't going to live very much longer. Because the doctors were telling them, well, because of the brittle bones, my body would eventually wear down from all the fractures. My heart wouldn't be able to take it. And I would just pass away. So I guess in order to remember that day, they had pictures taken, and they requested from a local artist that she paint a portrait. And she did a great job, and I still have it. It's hanging in my room. And it's a reminder to me, not only of my dimples, because I'm smiling there with the dimples, but it's a reminder of me how much my parents love me, and how much, wow, what kind of stress and what kind of anguish they must have been going through back then, just thinking, here's this little kid, he's 8 years old, and he may not be around much longer. And can you imagine the emotions that they had feeling? So they asked that this artist paint this portrait, and she did. So there's another smile. I'll tell you another thing here about smiles. When I was a teenager, my brother Pat, he's a couple years older than me, he had braces on his teeth, and just like any teenager would, who needs braces, and when he got them off, his smile was fabulous, terrific. And I wanted braces because I knew my smile wasn't very good. One of the byproducts of OI is bad teeth, because brittle bones, they're worried about chipped teeth and bad teeth. Anyway, my problem was I had spaces between my teeth, and I needed an orthodontist. So my dad was gone, and my mom said, okay, it's not going to hurt to get a consultation. So I actually, instead of going to the orthodontist my brother went to, here locally. I went to another guy in town, and the reason was because his office was more accessible to a wheelchair. And as we know at that time, when I was growing up, not every place was accessible. If you found a place with ramps, no steps, wow, you were really lucky. This was way before the ADA Act came into effect. So um, that's that was first and foremost. Whenever I needed to see a doctor, go to a store, restaurant, whatever, the the main thing was accessibility. But now it's not such a problem because almost every place, 99% of the places out there are accessible like that. Anyway, I ended up going to this guy, and I'll never forget the answer he gave. Right? And then, say, my braces on your teeth, and I could respond. And I'll never forget, he looked at me and he said, not, he said, you don't really need braces, do you? He threw the question back to me. And he did say, you don't really want braces, because I did want them. You don't really need braces, do you? And I thought, you know what? He's trying to tell me braces cost a lot of money, it's a lot of pain, a lot of hassle. You're in a wheelchair. You don't need braces. Why do you need braces? And that always stuck with me because I thought, well, yeah, maybe I am in a wheelchair, but what difference does that have to do with my smile? And again, back then, as I feel now, I'm just a regular guy. I just happen to use a wheelchair to go from place to place. Otherwise, I'm just the same as everybody else. Well, after he told me that, and he just, my hopes were dashed, and just went home, salt, rest, without coming out and saying it. He's telling me I don't need to feel like anyone else. I don't need to look like anyone else because I'm not everybody. I have a disability, which to him means you're just not like everybody else. Well, I let it bother me for a while. And then actually my mom, bless her, she talked to me. She said, you know what? Don't worry about it. She said, let's go to Dr. So-and-so who my brother went to. The reason I didn't go to him in the first place was because he outside, he had this very steep staircase to climb. He was like on the second floor of this bungalow. And I was like, how am I supposed to get up there? And she said, we'll work something. So I did. I went for the initial consultation. And my uncle Henry, God bless him, actually, pulled my wheelchair step by step up there. And now I think about it, it's like, wow, I sacrificed these people, man. My uncle, my dear Uncle Henry, he had to be in his 70s. And I just think about it now, and I'm like, wow, what they did for me. Well, should never repent. Anyway, I went to let's call him Dr. Eagle, Dr. Eagle. I went to Dr. Eagle, and he said, sure, we can do this. This isn't a problem. He said, of course, there are some limitations. We have to take your condition into mind. We have to be very careful about the braces so we don't crack a bone or break your jaw. He said, as long as you understand all of these concerns, he said, let's do some x-rays and let's see what we can do. Well, to make a long story short, he did. He did some x-rays and said, yeah, I can't promise that your smile is going to be John Travolta or Tom Cruise kind of smile, but we'll close the gaps in between the teeth, and we'll do the best we can. So for the next 2.5 years, I had braces. And I went through the same thing that anybody else did. The metal stuff, you couldn't eat certain stuff, the pain and tightened up, the rubber bands crossing here and there all around the mouth. Not good. But you know what? Whereas a typical person might complain about that stuff, I didn't complain because I was happy to have braces because I thought, well, once I get the braces off, I'm going to look so much better. I'm going to feel so much better about myself. It's the self-confidence. And I think that's what Dr. Eagle knew. He is like, not only is this going to improve your appearance, but it's going to have, I remember he told my mom, it's going to have so much self-confidence. And I think that was a big part of me reaching out in the world, branching out. Going back to college, getting my degree in social work, having a girlfriend, just going out and doing everything that everyone else did. I think all because I felt more confident about myself. So, I had braces, got them off. It was many times my uncle, my mom, we struggled up those steps, but there were some times where Dr. Eagle would come out to the car and tighten the braces. He knew what a struggle it was. So unless we had to go in and I had to be in the chair, dental chair, or had to have x-rays or something, so a lot of times Dr. Eagle was such a nice guy, he would come out to the car, and while I'm sitting in the front seat, he would tighten my braces in the front seat of the car. I mean, you do what you have to do, right? You have to think out of the box, and you have to be flexible sometimes. And so we did. So after 2.5 years, I got my braces off. I love my smile. Now it wasn't perfect, and I don't have the best smile in the world, but I feel better about myself. We closed the gaps, and I was able to flash my dimples. So, things work out, and we just hang in there, won't give up. Well, speaking about smile, think about what makes you smile. What is it? Your family, your significant other, your kids, your pets, your dog. By the way, there's the Bud Stewart right there. He's doing very well. And speaking of smiling, he just got 10 teeth out a couple weeks ago, and he's doing great. He's doing great. It's so funny because he was laying on my bed the other day, and he was just sprawled out like this, his balls were up in the air, his belly that's when you rub his belly. Rubbed his belly a little bit, and then I gave him a kitchy kitchy on the side of his cheek. Kitchy 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 kitchy. And he's grinning, and he's laughing, and he's rooching around, Of course, he doesn't have very many teeth, So he's got this grin, and there's hardly any teeth. A little old man. But so cute. So cute. But there he is. He's smiling away. Right? Well, a couple things that made me smile. Just so many things made me smile. Our dogs, my Polly, like just being around and living life there, being able to write and talk to you guys, and just ball games, concerts. There's just so much that I smile, that I'm very grateful to God, and very grateful to still be here. Kicking. But there's a couple things that I wanted to mention really quick to make me smile. One of the funniest movies I've ever seen, and I love this movie, and maybe you guys can look this one up or stream it if you don't have these. Best in Show. There you go. It's the mockumentary. It's the comedy about dog shows. This came out a few years ago, and I just love it. It's one of the funniest movies I think I've ever seen. And of course, Christopher Guest is a crazy, crazy guy. He's one of my favorites. Jennifer Coolidge, who's really popular now, nowadays, is in this movie. Of course, Michael McKean and Catherine O'Hara, Parker Posey, the great Eugene Levy and Jane Lynch. Excuse me. A lot of the players who played in SCTV, that great, great Canadian TV series, uh, that we down here in the States were privileged to have and to watch for many, many years. One of the funniest TV programs, SCTV, and a lot of players from that TV series are in this movie Best in Show. You got to get it, especially if you're a dog lover. It's just so many, the characters are very, very real, very vivid. And you got to watch a lot of the bloopers and alternate tapes. Excuse me. They are very, very cool. And just as funny as the movie. So, Best in Show. Best in Show. Another thing that makes me smile nowadays is, of course, shameless plug for my book. Ta-da! Ta-da! Unbreakable. And I was just really happy that I wrote this. I just sometimes I think about it, it's like, did I really write this? It had to be some. And I know it's not War and Peace. I know I'm not the best writer in the world, but it took me a couple of years to write it, and I'm happy I did. And I wanted to tell my story while I'm still around. I wanted people to know what it's like to have little bones and how to cope with life, how to keep hope alive, how to be an inspiration to other people, how to. I wanted to highlight all the people in my life who touched my life, not only while I was growing up, but now, especially my parents, my family. And I wanted to bring the light osteogenesis imperfecta and little bones. It's a rare disease that I wanted people to know of, and know that hopefully someday there will be a cure for OI. Sometimes I feel that OI is a sort of hidden, silent condition, because other than the OI Foundation and some other great places out there, OI is really, excuse me, talked about very much. And so I thought, well, if I could do my part in making people aware, awareness is the key, making people aware of OI, I'm just going to gravitate to it, then that's great. Because think about the kids who are coming after me, the next generation who may have little bones, Excuse me. Cheers. This is water, by the way. It's clean water, but I love to drink water now since I have kidney stones, and I just put a little water flavor in there to spruce it up a little. Not out. Anyway, so the next generation that's coming around that may have little bones, hopefully there's going to be a cure. Hopefully there's going to be early detection, and things are getting better as far as adaptive equipment is concerned, as far as there are people out there now, like genetic counselors that can help people with OI, families who are dealing with OI. And as I had said before, just coming from hospitals now, I was recently in the hospital, and the hospitals are so much brighter places to go to. and compared to when I was a kid. So things are looking up. Things are looking up. So hopefully, by the time I'm gone, and there will be uh, there'll be a lot of improvements in not only curing OI, but uh, coping with it. Improved therapies and surgeries and things. So anyway, so that's my spiel on smiling. Yeah, I remember a quote one time I heard, um, a curved smile keeps the world straight. So there you go, right? And as we said, it's much less hassle to smile than it is to frown. And smiling, it makes other people feel good too. Not only does it make you feel good, it makes other people around you. It's contagious. Somebody sees you smile, chances are they're going to smile too. Final thought, we've been living through a lot of really tough times lately, with the pandemic and all this other craziness going on in the world. People, rightfully so, have been, they're tired. They've been ground down and just been, uh, you know, we've gone through a lot. Those of us who were lucky enough to survive these last few years, we are survivors and we've gone through a lot. And we should all be proud of ourselves because we are still here. We're still kicking, but uh, I go around and, when I go to the grocery store or something, people just seem very angry nowadays, very tense, and just, they don't smile very easily, not like before. But I tell you what, if I smile at someone, chances are they're going to smile back. Maybe it's not a big smile, maybe it's just a little, but generally people smile back. And that's the way to break the ice. I know, when I was a kid, well, even now, I get a lot of stares. People stare at me, so that's okay. I mean, that's part of the deal. I've learned to live with it. I've learned to cope with it. It is what it is. So I don't let it get me down anymore. But kids used to always stare at me a lot. And I thought it was always a bad thing for a parent to grab the kid and pull him away and say, "Shh, you're not supposed to do that." No, no, no. If the kid is staring, if the kid has questions, let the kid ask his questions, right? I mean, that's the only way we're going to learn. That's the only way things are going to change. Uh, I think it's less so now, even when it gets involved. I don't get as many stares. I think because people with disabilities are seen more often in the world. I mean, in work, in school, on TV, and movies. It's not such a strange thing. It's not such a big deal. A person with a disability is just one of us, right? One of society. So I don't get as many stares. What worked with me though over the years, when I used to get stares, especially from kids, a lot of times kids would say, "What happened to you?" And I might say something like, "I'm not going to give the whole explanation of, oh, I have this rare disease of 1 in 20 million, blah, 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 blah." No, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to say something like, "Well, I fell and broke my leg. Yeah, it's all good. It's all." What works with me, is give them a smile. Give them, splash those dimples or whatever give them a smile. And chances are that kid is going to smile back at you. You're going to break the ice. They're not going to be so afraid of the next person with a disability that they may meet. And I'm sure they're going to meet someone because, like I said, people with disabilities now are more involved with the world than ever before. And that's good. That's good. So, uh, so again, a smile can melt away all that iciness. Everything just melts with it. And it breaks down a lot of barriers. And it's just a simple smile. It doesn't cost anything. You just smile, show kindness, and you'd be surprised how effective it is in the world. Well, thanks a lot for watching. I haven't done an Unbreakable Spirit in a while, so I hope to do more this week. And like I said, I've been busy other than the hospital thing. Oh, I just got to tell you, I thank God I have a lot to smile about these days because my pathology results came back from when I was in the hospital. My colonoscopy came out fine. I don't need one for another 10 years. Can you believe it? 10 years. That's good news. And my endoscopy, yes, they discovered I do have Barrett's disease, which is a precursor to cancer, but it is not cancer. And it has just stayed as it was the last time I had an endoscopy. So thank God it isn't what it is. It's stable, and I take medication to make sure it's okay. But sometimes if I have this raspy throat, coughing, that's likely what it is. But I'm very happy that everything came out okay. And I won't need another endoscopy for maybe another 3 to 5 years. And yay, yay. So that's something definitely solid. Up a couple of days, I was up in the Lancaster, the Dutch country. I live outside of Philadelphia, in the suburbs, Phoenixville, and the west of us is Lancaster, what they call the Dutch country, and the Amish live there, and it's such a beautiful, beautiful part of our state of Pennsylvania, of the country. Rolling green hills, farmland, as far as the eye can see. It's a beautiful, beautiful place. We were up there a couple times this week. We went up one time to go to a nursery called Black Creek, and it's where we got our garden flowers, which are just beautiful. Now, planted on. Although we had frost one day this week, believe it or not, but it seems like we'll be okay. In fact, it's here in Pennsylvania. It's supposed to get hot again in another week. But anyway, went up there to the garden, and then we went one day to Sight and Sound. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Sight and Sound. This nice theater near Lancaster, PA. I believe there's another one out near Branson, Missouri. And they put on plays, musical, about the Bible plays. And we've seen a play called Jesus. We've seen Noah, all these guys, and the ladies from the Bible. They bring the action. It's just a great stage where it's like surround sound. And it's just live animals, live camels walking up and down the aisles. The actors in all the costumes, like the Romans, and it's just amazing, amazing. The acting and the singing is Broadway style. It's just amazing. Of course, live theater, you can't beat it anyway. So we were up there to see Moses, and Moses was another spectacular production. And they did it, the parting of the Red Sea. And it was just fantastic how they did it. And very good. It was just magnificent. And we got tickets already for Christmas show coming up in November and December. Story and Spirit of Christmas is coming back. And the next spring, the new play is Daniel. Remember Daniel and the Lion? Yeah, so it's simple. So if you ever get around my way at the Lancaster PA, take a trip sometime. Get some tickets and come see Sight and Sound. Or if you're out in the zoo. It's well worth the trip. So, all those things this week made me smile. And this week coming up, we're going to a Phillies game. We're not doing so good, so we haven't small as much these days. But still going out to the ball game. It's so cool. An afternoon game. Who could ask for more? The day's supposed to be 81 degrees, no humidity, and light breeze on Wednesday. It's going to be really, really cool. And just seeing how you go to a ball game now, enjoy it with other people around you without the risk as we had years ago of getting sick. It's just amazing. So it's a good time to be alive, and it's a good time to sing. So I hope you guys are smiling out there. I hope you continue to smile all weekend. And I will be back soon. I'm going to do a sports weekend podcast soon, which will be up on Twitter. And we'll be back again for one of these hopeful episodes again sometime soon. So you guys take care and keep smiling. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.